Welcome back to Hardball. When Burger King, home of the American Whopper, executed a merger this week, a corporate maneuver unfamiliar to most Americans was suddenly getting a lot of attention. The reason? Burger King was merging with a Canadian company and moving its corporate headquarters to Canada, a move that lets Burger King pay far fewer taxes here in the United States. Well, today in her column, Trish Regan characterized these tax moves like this, quote, "There's a new reason corporations are merging, and it's more akin to a mail-order bride arrangement. In these loveless transactions, American companies are buying foreign counterparts to get a new passport and enjoy the lower corporate rates that come along with it." Well, something about this burger deal just doesn't smell right to me or to many Americans, I would argue. Joining me right now is Trish Regan, the author of that piece in USA Today. She's a columnist there and anchor of Street Smart on Bloomberg TV. And, of course, we have Chicago Tribune columnist Everyman with me, Clarence Page, to give you the Everyman's view, which is mine. Trish, you're an expert. Beautifully written column, almost to the point where I think you know a lot more about this than I do. So spring it out here, my friend. What is it about this deal that doesn't smell? Because most Americans have to pay taxes because they live here. If Burger King's going to have 1 billion outlets here and sell a zillion hamburgers here, and what most people think is an American to American transaction, shouldn't they have to pay American taxes? Just a thought.
Well, you know, the problem, Chris, is that we have the most in the way of taxes of any country in the world. I mean, 35%. And so Burger King's looking at this and they're saying to themselves, you know, if we're headquartered in Canada, we could pay 27%. So think of the savings we will have if we go there. And you're seeing a lot of companies do this. In fact, we've seen about 21 companies do this since 2012, which is a huge uptick because I'll tell you, Chris, over the last 3 decades, 51 in total have done this. So to see 21 just in the last couple years, that's pretty significant. And they're doing this because every other country around the world is offering a better deal for them compared to what we're charging in taxes.
Can I give the progressive response? We pay for the highways, the national defense. We pay for transportation and communication systems. Every bit of infrastructure that benefits every time we stop along the road to buy a burger from Burger King. They have a lot of benefits from us. They don't seek to want to pay a penny for them. Your thoughts, Clarence? That's my Jeremiah there.
Hope I can be as brief as you. You know, the thing is about this deal is this is a good issue, these inversions, good discussion. Funny thing about the Burger King deal is there might not be an inversion. They're actually denying it. They don't,
of course they would.
They don't pay the 35% tax now. They're paying 27%, and they'll probably gain 1 or 2% by the Canadian
Why are they
move.
moving their corporate headquarters up there?
Other reasons, including the fact that Canada's got laws in regard to overseas ownership that make it easier for them to move their headquarters. Technically, even though the personnel aren't going to move in an appreciable sense. So, but you know, the inversion issue is a good one. I think this one's getting a lot of attention though, because everybody knows Burger King's name. They don't know Pfizer as well or other more obscure companies.
Well, when John Profumo got caught in the scandal in Britain back in my day, Trish, he denied it, of course, and the girl in the case said, of course he would. Of course they're going to deny they're doing this for tax reasons. Of course.
Yeah,
of course
you're absolutely right. But
you do the analysis. You do the analysis.
It is for tax reasons. You know, look, they're going to save money, and there's a lot of pressure for companies to be as profitable as they possibly can. What we might think about doing, though, Chris, is reforming our own tax code so we're not driving American companies away, because at the end of the day, we're all losing out on that tax revenue. Okay. So when you go around the world and you see that every other country has a better tax structure for corporations, you have to start to say, what is it that we're doing that is not, you know, is not really favorable for our businesses here?
So the solution, according to Trish, I think certainly according to Crownhammer today, who I occasionally agree with, lower the rates for corporations to operate here so they won't go overseas by filling up loopholes.
And close the loopholes.
So the Democrats don't like the loopholes, and the Republicans want the lower rates. Why can't they get anything done?
Yeah, also President Obama agrees with Crownhammer.
But why doesn't the president goose Congress into doing this?
Well,
why does he embarrass them into doing it so they can stop the hamburgers companies from running away with their profits?
Well, I think it goes back to the Tea Party, Chris. I mean, you've got Republicans and Democrats on both sides, you're right, who want this. But you've got Tea Party folks in particular who say, well, we're not going to give the corporate people a break. We're giving the little guy a break. And
so
blah,
they
blah,
won't
blah.
touch
They don't
corporate
want to compromise. In other
so they don't want anything. The good, the enemy, the perfect's the enemy of the good. Unless they get a complete tax over. Is that it, Trish? Unless they get everything the way they want it, they're not going to agree to fix the corporate thing you mentioned.
Well, you know, Chris, I mean, this is a government that can't seem to get anything done. And when it comes to tax reform, this is complicated stuff. There's a lot of loopholes in there, and there's a lot of incentives for people around the country, politicians around the country, to keep those loopholes in there. So it's politically really difficult. It's also a difficult sell, right? Because when you're out there talking about tax inversions, I mean, people's eyes kind of glaze over.
Not with me,
so
they
from
don't.
a political standpoint.
Oh, Trish, if I can handle it, the viewers can handle it. I'm not that complicated. When I said last night that you can't get a decent hamburger outside this country unless it's made by an American company. And I've been to Canada across Niagara Falls, right across. You can walk across, and it's the stinkiest hamburger ever in my life. I don't know what was in it, whether it was something like Hamburger Helper. That would have tasted okay. Some kind of meat that as you're eating it, you're saying, I'm going to get sick.
Blame Canada, blame Canada.
I'm just going to think, I think it's one thing we've got a monopoly on how to make a good hamburger.
This is going to ratchet it up. This is going to ratchet it up because this is a deal that's about donuts and hamburgers, and Burger King really seen as American. So the idea that an American company now going to Canada where they're going to get a more favorable tax rate, I think this really pushes the issue much more.
Where's the synergism between donuts? Wait, quickly, 10 seconds. What's the synergism between donuts and hamburgers? You're not going to sell both in the same store.
You know, you might see some of that. You wonder, like some of the fast food places on the highway where you see a number of different, you know, donuts, hamburgers, pizza, all there in one place. So you can get people for breakfast and for lunch and dinner, right?
Dance with the one that brung you. Burgers stick with burgers, donuts stick with donuts. Anyway, thank you, Trish Regan. That's my corporate brilliance. Thank you much. Great. Have a nice weekend, Trish, and Clarence, too. Up next, we stayed up late with Jay Leno for 22 years. Now we're going to talk to one of the producers who worked the night shift, well, the late shift with him. This guy knows what happened in that show. It's fascinating stuff. I saw some of it myself. We'll be right back with The Place for Politics.